All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Race number one. Harry Volchmere and Adam Barker on the front row. Rudolph Gunther and Simon Zierk on the second row. These four could have a very close race here this morning. All four of them extremely fast, extremely good competitors. Also worth noting that of the four drivers, three are in the Porsche. Harry, Adam, and Rudolph all in the Porsche, and Rudolph Gunther is the fastest Gunther this morning. Simon, of course, in the BMW, to be expected out of that driver. Let's see what he can do. It is the more stable platform, and in a track like this, that could definitely come into play. Drivers getting their warm-up laps in. Next week is the final week. Then they will have recruitment for the next season. They do follow the VRS Sprint Series. If you're interested in running with GT3 NSS, make sure to drop in the comments. We'll make sure to get you the Discord later today. You can hop in and get going with a great bunch of guys. Worth noting, a lot of these guys spend a lot of time coaching other members of the league when they come in. So even if you're not the best road racer out there, you could definitely benefit being in this league. They race together outside of here, do endurance races, everything. This is a great team, a great group. .76 miles around this track. Huge elevation changes. The elevation changes into the turns are definitely going to throw some of these drivers for a loop. The pace car is in. Harry fires quickly. Harry gets a big jump out of the final turn. He is going to try and take the lead and run away. Green flag in the air. Adam Barker still within range of the slipstream, down into that first right-hander, then the left-hander, then the elevations begin to change. It can really upset the car, and I know some of the drivers really struggling. Whoa, Adam goes wide, really struggling, especially in the final sector of this track. Rudolph Gunther on the inside trying to make a move. Simon gets down to the inside on Rudolph now. They're side by side. Adam still trying to reel in. Rudolph comes back out on top in third. Adam still trying to close the gap on Harry. Simon Zierk sits back in fourth place, the lone BMW, but Mr. Consistency. This is one of those tracks that consistency could really pay off, and that more stable BMW could be hugely beneficial. Meanwhile, Harry comes out of the final turn. He will lead lap one. Adam Barker, Rudolph Gunther, and Simon Zierk still all within striking distance of the leader, but Harry's starting to pull a gap now, 1.5 seconds. Simon Zierk still lurking back in fourth. Him and Rudolph have battled once already this morning. Lap times between second, third, and fourth during practice were extremely close. Lap times between all four drivers were very close as well. Adam hoping to reel in Harry on the long run here. Now remember, today is, as always, a double header. So after this one, they will invert the field for race 2, the endurance race. Oh! Rudolph Gunther goes off track. Simon takes third. Just a little bit wide. Some of the drivers this morning were talking about the fact that this track has some big runoff areas, but it is hard to get the car wound up once you're in one. Simon Zierk now to third place, trying to run down Adam Barker in second. Adam is closing in now on Harry Volsmeer just a little bit. Harry does have a 1.5 second lead, but looks like Adam every few turns gets a couple hundredths of a second. In the first half of this track, Adam is definitely faster. However, as we mentioned, Adam was struggling with the last sector of the track. Harry using every bit of the rumble strips and the curbing where needed. Using a lot more of it than I saw anybody else using in practice. Simon in third now. Rudolph Gunther in fourth, 2.2 seconds back. Meanwhile, Simon in third, trying to close back up on second place, Adam Barker. That consistency of Simon Zierk already paying off this morning, getting him up to second. Simon just set the fastest lap of the morning so far as he tries to close back in on Adam and Harry. Adam has closed down to about 1.25 seconds on the leader. Simon 1.6 seconds behind. Adam continues to close in, now 1.1 seconds behind Harry. Simon is still closing in on Adam as well. Rudolph currently losing ground to the top three. Simon continues to reel in the two cars ahead. It is likely with the elevation changes, the Porsche is struggling to get around the corner in a stable manner, whereas Simon in the BMW able to just send it a little bit deeper, get on the throttle a little bit quicker. Rudolph Gunther, meanwhile, laying down his fastest lap of the morning, trying to reel the leaders in. And Adam Barker has closed to within half a second of Harry. Simon just behind in third. Once Adam gets right to the back bumper, this thing is going to tighten back up. All four drivers will be nose to tail. Harry has led every lap so far, but with Adam Barker and Simon Zierk closing in, things definitely about to heat up. Rudolph Gunther currently 2.8 seconds behind that battle. He is starting to gain some ground on the top three, though. And as we mentioned, though, once those three are battling, anything could happen. Adam Barker is fighting for that championship with Andrew Lau not here today. Adam has a huge advantage, and if he wins both races, all he has to do next week is start both races. Simon Zierk still lurking in third, but now it is Rudolph Gunther closing in on the cars ahead. Now down to 2 3/4 of a second behind. He is starting to pick up some momentum. Adam Barker has just overshot. Adam coming down the hill. We talked about the elevation changes being a problem, and just gets loose and into the runoff zone and into the wall. The championship contender now back into fourth, and he has gone to pit road. Harry still has the lead, but it is now 2.5 seconds over Simon Zierk. Rudolph Gunther in third, still trying to close that gap. And Adam Barker is sitting on pit road. It looks like he may have had to tow. Adam will still pull off a fourth place finish here, but he may not secure the title today. Meanwhile, Harry, currently running in ninth, as he runs right now, will move up to seventh in points. Going past both Mike Marshall and Max Gunther this morning. Simon Zierk also looking at a very good morning. He is going to massively close up the gap on fourth place, Yannick Gunther. Simon now in second, still about 2.6 seconds back. Meanwhile, Rudolf Gunther in third is closing the gap on Simon. Now down to about 2.5 seconds. Rudolf Gunther is the only one whose lap times are starting to come down. Simon and Harry's lap times currently staying pretty steady. But Rudolph has found another gear. He is on it and may very well catch up to Simon Zierk. Harry has pulled out another 0.3 of a second. Now 2.8 seconds is the lead on Simon. Meanwhile, Rudolf Gunther has closed the gap now down to 2.1 seconds. And Harry Volsmir, the leader, has had a problem. Same place we saw Adam Barker. Oh, he got too much of the rumble strip. Sends it through and all the way into the sand trap. Did he keep it off the wall? Somehow Harry managed to keep it off the wall, but he now drops to third. Now Simon Zierk has gone to the lead. Rudolf Gunther lost some ground during that as he had to back off to make sure he didn't hit Harry. Simon Zierk now has a 3.8 second lead on Rudolf Gunther. Rudolf has a 12.5 second lead over Harry. Adam Barker is still on pit road. Fortunately, Harry came through unscathed. He appears to be fine. Probably a little sand in the car. But Simon is extending his lead now 4.25 seconds over Rudolph Gunther. Harry Volsmir back in third. With just a couple of laps to go here. Simon coming through the final segment. Will ride along and see if he sees the white flag this time. Comes through the final turn. No white flag yet. They'll go around at least 2 more times, and as we've seen here, late in the run, things have gotten a bit interesting. Everything has been shaken up, so anything could happen at any time. This race is far from over. Harry definitely on the march, though. Currently 11.8 seconds behind Rudolph Gunther. In second, he is gaining ground quickly. Last time by, Harry was about a half second faster than Rudolph, but unlikely to have enough time to close that gap. Meanwhile, Simon Zierk with a 4.5 second lead now, just setting a consistent pace. Doing what Simon always does, consistency paying off this morning. Rudolph Gunther coming across the line in second. Harry Volsmir in third. I do believe this will be Rudolph Gunther's best finish of the season. His previous best, a 4th place at Aragon. Multiple top 5s this season, including Virginia and Spa. But today, at least, Rudolph is the fastest Gunther. Simon Zierk comes out of the final corner. Checkered flag waves. Simon wins at Phillip Island. Rudolph Gunther comes home second, his best finish of the season. Harry Volsmir finishes in third. And let's talk to our top 3. Harry, you had a really great run the first half of that one.
Well, I had no damage.
That is true. You managed to go that far sliding out of control without a single bit of damage. That was really impressive.
Yeah, I tried to.
Well, you got it done. Another podium finish, a great points day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Harry comes home in third. Rudolph Gunther comes home in second. Rudolph, that was your best finish of the season.
Thank you, Doc. That was easy.
Well, it didn't look that easy. You had a few close calls out there with other cars spinning around you, but you managed to hold on and just keep it where it needed to be.
Yeah, that's right. I just made one mistake so that Simon could take my position, and well, that was it. Everything else was clean. Some little braking errors, but it was pretty nice. I like that track.
Well, it definitely showed you like the track. The last half of that race, you were consistently the fastest one. As everybody else was slowing down, you were finding speed.
Yeah, I just changed the brake bias a little bit, and that helped a little bit with the braking. And well, as I said, I like that track, and my boys are not here, so I'm really happy that I could take this position.
Well, that is awesome, and you are the fastest Gunther today, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
Rudolph Gunther comes home in second, but Simon Zierk gets the win. Simon, your consistency gets the job done once again.
Oh yeah, Doug. That's right. A wonderful track here, Phillip Island. It's a shame that only 4 drivers showed up for this race.
Well, even despite that, you managed to keep the consistency and stay out of trouble all morning long. Get your third win of the season so far.
Oh yeah, consistency is key, as you saw in the race. The Porsche had troubles, I think, with the rear overheating and then getting a little bit slippy. The BMW was also not so stable in this race in the back, but once the tires warmed up, everything was fine. So I think for the longer feature race, I have good chances to get also a podium again.
I'm sure you will, man. Congratulations. A great win this morning.
Thank you.
Simon Zierk, his third win of the season. Interesting note, Simon has all 3 of his wins in race 1. He won the first race at Spa, won the first race last week at Le Mans, and now the first race here at Phillip Island. Adam Barker is back out on track for the warm-up session. Just about a minute left to go in warm-up. Then we go racing for 50 minutes. They will have to make a fuel stop during that race. The real question is going to be, do they take tires? Sounds like the back end on the Porsche really needs them. Take a moment, drop into the comments, say good morning. Let us know how you're doing. If you have a favorite driver, as always, let us know who you're cheering for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race number 2 with the invert. Adam Barker and Harry Volsmere starting on the front row again, weirdly. And Rudolph Gunther, Simon Zierk on the back row. Adam Barker can definitely open up the points lead here this morning, despite finishing 4th in race 1. He cannot lock up the title, but he can make it almost impossible for Lau to win. Adam Barker is looking for his 4th title here in GT3 NSS. We heard the Porsche, the back end, the back tires get heated up and start sliding. We saw that play out in a big way in race 1. How much of a factor will it be in race 2? And will we see the 3 Porsches getting a tire change in race 2? Simon said his car was better once it had the heat in the tires. Could very well see in a situation where the 3 Porsches change tires, the BMW does not. They go toward the final turn. Adam Barker will be in control of the start. Pace car is in. Adam fires quickly. They are away. Saw how big of a jump Harry got on the start of race 1. Taking advantage here as green flag is in the air. Harry slips by into 2nd place. Rudolf Gunther almost took 2nd from him. I don't think that battle is done yet, and Simon already looking for 3rd. You heard Simon say between the races that BMW not as stable as you'd normally expect it to be, but it is still the more stable platform on track this morning. Down the hill, back up, the elevation changes here play havoc as we have seen all morning long. And Adam Barker will lead the first lap. Hey, good morning, Angie. Rudolf Gunther still sits in 3rd, Simon in 4th. Expect Simon to start to come alive after the 2nd or 3rd lap. We do know it took a little bit more time to put heat into the Beamer. We saw in race 1, Harry Volsmir had pulled a big lead early on. Adam has been unable to pull away into a big lead. Could this be a conservation move, or is this just a not having the speed to pull away? We saw he was able to hang with Harry in race 1, but does not look like he has the speed to pull away here this morning. All 4 drivers as Harry looks to the inside. All 4 drivers still together. Harry cannot get there yet. Rudolf Gunther almost gets an opening to shoot into. And Mr. Consistency, Simon Zierk, sits behind and watches. Harry did set the fastest lap so far last time by. Rudolf Gunther, Simon Zierk still within striking distance of the top 2 as they go up the hill. Talk about elevation changes here at Phillip Island next week at Mount Panorama, the season finale. Things are going to get really interesting. A big elevation change both up and down the mountain. Adam still has the lead, but Simon even faster last time by. Rudolph sits in 3rd, Simon in 4th, and Harry gets it. Harry sends it deep into the turn to take the lead. Adam now back into 2nd, Rudolph in 3rd, Simon in 4th. Simon now looking to the inside for 3rd, but couldn't get the position going into the turn. Normally we would expect in the 2nd race a little bit more patience, but nobody is showing patience out here. They are going for it. Harry Troll! Rudolf Gunther is around. The downhill right-hander, we've talked about that elevation change. He just gets too close to Adam, loses the back end under braking. Shades of race number 1 with Simon Zierk picking up spots due to other folks' mistakes. Does he have the speed and consistency, though? Will there be enough mistakes out of the top two? Can he close the gap and be in position to take advantage of anything that happens ahead? Harry continuing to pull away from Adam Barker. The lead now 1.8 seconds. Simon, meanwhile, down to 1.9 as he tries to close in on Barker. We heard about the back tires on the Porsche getting a little slippery on the long run. Is Harry pushing the car too hard, running away from the field? Rudolf Gunther is starting to show some more speed. Now down to 5.4 seconds behind Simon Zierk in third. We saw in race one, Rudolf Gunther was the fastest on the long run. Could this longer race pay off enough for him to close up? Could he get his first NSS win today? Harry out front, the lead now down to about 1 3/4 of a second. Adam finding a little bit more speed. Simon Zierk still lurking about 1.9 seconds back. Adam Barker is finding more speed as they come down the hill. Now down under 1.6 seconds and gaining. Adam did mention he did not get his usual amount of practice in this week. He did spend a lot of time on track during the practice this morning. He did spend time on track during the warm-up after the incident in race one. Did he find something that is going to help him move up here and get the win? Meanwhile, Simon Zierk still lurking about 1.8 seconds back. Last time by, Rudolf Gunther lost a little bit of ground, now 6.5 seconds back after he was already starting to march his way forward. Adam continuing to try and close that gap on the leader. A win here this morning would be a huge, huge help in securing his 4th title. And Simon Zierk is starting to close in as well, now just 1.5 seconds back. Simon definitely has the advantage on the straightaway, that BMW having more power than the two Porsches ahead. Rudolph Gunther back in fourth, still losing some ground to the top three, but we're going to keep a close eye on that, as he was the fastest in the long run this morning. Adam Barker sits in second, Simon Zierk in third, Rudolph Gunther in fourth, the fastest Gunther this morning. Worth noting, Rudolph came into the morning sixth in points, right behind Simon Zierk. Simon got the win in race one, but they are closing in on Yannick Gunther, fourth in points. And I suspect going into next season, Rudolph Gunther could be a championship contender. Harry's lead now stable at about 1.6 seconds. Adam was closing in. Simon Zierk has had a problem. Mr. Consistency coming down the hill. Just overshoots off into the runoff. We've seen multiple drivers end up in that sand trap this morning. Simon manages to hold on to third, but now has Rudolph right on the bumper. Adam Barker now 10 seconds ahead of that battle for third. Harry's lead still about 1.6 seconds. No clear advantage between the top two. Simon and Rudolph still battling for third. Rudolph still within striking distance. The first mistake we have seen out of Simon all morning. Does he have the speed to close back up, and will he be able to make up some ground on pit road? Will the top two take the option to change tires here this morning, given that they are both pushing as hard as possible? Both drivers fairly evenly matched this morning. Harry a little bit faster in the second half of the track. Adam faster in the first half. Rudolph still staying in striking distance on Simon Zierk, hoping for an opportunity. Rudolph was sitting in third early in the race, but had that incident coming down the hill. Slipped back to fourth, then Simon Zierk had a big problem. Rudolph able to close back up. Adam Barker has suddenly lost a lot of pace. He is 2.1 seconds behind. We'll check the lap times at the line, but last time by, Adam was the faster of the two leaders. That time by, Harry Volsmir was almost 0.4 of a second faster. He has found some more speed. Adam Barker now holding about 2 seconds back. Can he pick it up just a little bit more? Meanwhile, Simon and Rudolph continue to battle for third. Rudolph definitely able to close up through the turns, but Simon has the advantage on exit with power. Plus, as we mentioned earlier, Simon able to push that car just a little bit harder due to the fact that it is a more stable platform on a track where none of the cars are stable. Harry has not won a race since race 1 at Catalunya, but multiple podium finishes this season. And if he came into the morning 9th in points, if he wins this race, he will move to 7th. Simon starting to pull a little bit of ground on Rudolph Gunther. Wow, Rudolph really coming hard out of that turn. Nobody comes in for their pit stop this time, but we do expect stops in the next 2 to 3 laps. This will be a one-stop race here this morning, as Harry's lead continues to grow over Adam Barker. The last few times by, Harry has been 3 to 4 tenths of a second faster than Adam. This is a huge points morning for Adam today. He came into the morning just 9 points ahead of Andrew Lau. Despite finishing 4th in race 1, he now has a 27-point lead. And Harry Volsmeer may be the biggest mover here late in the season. Adam just not able to counter the speed that Harry has suddenly found. Meanwhile, Simon Zierk pulled a small gap on Rudolf Gunther, but isn't able to run away yet. Could see pit stops this time by. Harry stays out. Adam is staying out as well. Simon Zierk is the only driver to come in as Rudolf stays out. Rudolf Gunther now to 3rd, and will Simon take tires? Or will this be a fuel-only stop? That could be the deciding factor this morning. Who takes tires, who doesn't? And it does not look like Simon is taking tires. This is a fuel-only stop. Harry headed back toward the pit road entrance. Will he come in? And here he comes. The leader is on pit road. Adam Barker on his way in. Fully expect to see Rudolf Gunther hit pit road, and yes, he does. Now the question is, do any of the Porsches take tires? Yes, Harry is up 4 tires. Adam is up 4 tires. Rudolf Gunther rolling down pit road. Will he take tires? Rudolf Gunther has taken 4 tires. Simon Zierk, the only driver who did not take tires. Harry on his way off pit road. Adam is on his way out. Simon coming out of the final turn as Rudolph begins his roll off pit road. Simon reclaims third place, and after pit stops, Harry's lead now 4.5 seconds over Adam Barker. Simon Zierk gained well over a second in third place, and Rudolph Gunther now 3.3 seconds back in fourth. Now it comes down to who has the fastest laps the remainder of this race. Can anybody make up ground on the car ahead? Adam Barker sits in second. Still a great points position if he can finish there, but trying to close the gap. Simon Zierk in third, 9.3 seconds back. And Rudolph Gunther in fourth, 3.7. Just over 20 minutes left to go in race 2. Simon Zierk was gaining ground on Adam, but now has started to lose some. Meanwhile, Rudolph Gunther is gaining on Simon, now under 3.5 seconds back. Adam Barker losing ground at the moment. Simon Zierk losing ground. The only driver making up ground on the cars ahead is Rudolph Gunther. Rudolph now just 3 seconds behind Zierk. Rudolph has been the long run car to beat all morning long with 4 fresh tires. Can he take advantage of it? Simon ahead does not have fresh tires. Rudolph, a huge opportunity here this morning. Rudolph could very well pass Max Gunther in the, or I'm sorry, pass Yannick Gunther in the points. As he continues to reel in Simon Zier. Meanwhile, Harry out front has now opened up a 5.2 second lead on Adam Barker. And Simon unable to make up any ground on the leaders. And the fastest car on track right now is Rudolph Gunther as he continues to close in on Simon. Adam Barker sitting in second, holds that gap at 5 seconds, but unable to close the gap at all today. Harry Volsmir, though, with that big lead, a huge points morning for him, already moving up to 7th in points after race 1. And will close the gap on most of the field ahead. Adam Barker well on his way to his 4th NSS title, with Andrew Lau not making the race this morning. Rudolph Gunther, meanwhile, has just about caught up to Simon Zierk. The gap now down to about 1.1 3/4 of a second. Rudolph has really been on a mission this morning. You can see it here how quickly he is catching up. He's not only catching up with Simon Zierk, but he has been consistently faster than Harry Volsmir and Adam Barker. Adam Barker continuing to lose time to the leader, now almost 6 seconds behind. Simon Zierk now 12.3 seconds behind Adam Barker. And Rudolph has just about gotten to the back bumper on Simon. He should be picking up a little bit of the slipstream on the straightaway now. And it's obvious the Porsche able to go a little bit faster through the turns here, especially the higher speed turns. Harry's still in the lead. Adam in second. Simon in third. Rudolph in fourth. The closest battle on track right now is for third place. Simon Zierk currently sits in third. Rudolph right behind him. Simon pushing a little bit harder, has found a little bit more speed last time by. Trying to keep Rudolph Gunther right behind him. Hey, good morning, Russell. Harry's lead now 6 1/4 seconds over Adam Barker. Simon back in third with Rudolph in fourth, but for how much longer can Simon hold him off? Remember, Simon did not take tires on their stop. Rudolph did, and here he goes. Down the hill, Rudolph cuts to the inside. Rudolph Gunther now to third. Oh, he catches the bumps a little too hard. Can he hold them off? Out of that last turn, Rudolph still holds third place. A gutsy pass there coming down the hill, almost bit him. Now Simon right on that back bumper, looked low into one. Rudolph just a little bit faster. Rudolph Gunther to third, 13.2 seconds behind Adam Barker in second. Remember, Rudolph has been faster than all three of the cars since the pit stop. But with 10 minutes left to go, he needs the top two to make a mistake. Harry continues to lead and have a 6.5 second gap on Adam in second. Meanwhile, Simon just doing everything he can to stay with Rudolph Gunther. Simon Zierk has had a problem back behind. Second to last turn just gets too much of the rumble strip off into the grass. Does manage to get it woed up and going the right way. But Simon lost a lot of ground on Rudolph Gunther. Meanwhile, Harry continues to extend his lead over Adam Barker, now 6.9 seconds. Rudolph in third. Did he use up the tires trying to get around Simon? He is not gaining any ground at the moment. Every lap since the pit stop, Harry Volsmere has pulled away from Adam Barker, but every single lap, Rudolf Gunther has been the fastest of all four cars on track, with the exception of the last lap. That was the only lap he has been slower. He has definitely got one fast car here today. But with just over 7 minutes left to go and 13 and a half seconds to make up, he is really going to have to crank it up to catch Adam Barker in second. Harry Volsmere's lead now 7 seconds over Barker. As we mentioned, a huge points morning for Harry, up to 7th in points after race number 1, after starting the race in 9th in points. Coming into the morning, Rudolf Gunther 6th in points, Simon Zierk in 5th. They are going to close up on Yannick in a big way, and I do believe Yannick will not be here next week, moving Simon and Rudolf to 4th and 5th. So a lot of shakeups in the top 10 going into the final race of the season next week at Mount Panorama. Harry Volsmere's lead continuing to grow now, 7.3 seconds. Rudolf Gunther still attacking, trying to close the gap on Barker, hoping the top two will make a mistake. 5 minutes left to go. Harry managing to get past Adam Barker on the second lap and has not looked back all morning long. Finished third in race number 1 after a mistake put him back quite a bit. Fought back to third and now going out and dominating for the second race. Rudolf Gunther having a problem on the second lap, set himself back quite a ways. Lucky for the top two, as Rudolf really on the long run has been the fastest car. Adam Barker late in the run has started to close back up on Harry, but it may be too little, too late. Simon Zierk, after losing it coming through the second to last corner, now back in fourth, 11 seconds back. The first mistake of Mr. Consistency, and we've seen two this morning out of Simon. looking to see if Harry has shown the white flag. Couldn't tell. An interesting note this morning, looking at safety ratings of all 4 drivers, the lowest rating is a 3.64, all 4 A-class drivers. And the lowest I rating, it's Harry Volsmeer, and yeah, he is putting on a clinic this morning. Adam Barker had been gaining ground on Harry, but the last lap he has lost some. Looked like he gave it one final shot, couldn't get there. And Rudolf Gunther, his best race of the season, will finish 3rd in both races. A big day for Rudolf, a big points day for him. As Harry goes around one more time, white flag is in the air. With several drivers out this morning, a big points day for everybody on track, especially for Adam Barker as he looks for his 4th championship in NSS racing. Simon Zierk, Rudolf Gunther, and Harry Volsmeer all having big points days, but Adam Barker looking to secure his title next week at Mount Panorama will be much, much easier for Adam to secure that championship. Andrew Lau put up one heck of a fight all season long, but today could have been the deciding factor. And Harry Volsmeer into the final turn. He is going to win the 2nd race at Phillip Island. Harry Volsmeer gets the win. Adam Barker comes home 2nd. Rudolf Gunther has his best morning of NSS racing with dual podium finishes. And Simon Zierk, Mr. Consistency, the first time we've seen him not be. Let's talk to our top 3. Rudolph, you were definitely the fastest Gunther this morning and your 2 best finishes of the season.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. Thank you. I'm really happy with that.
I would be too, man. You made up a lot of points, especially on Yannick this morning. It's going to make next week at Mount Panorama extremely interesting.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. That was a really nice race, especially with Simon. After I touched Adam, I lost ground a little bit. But Simon and myself, we were very close together, and I was betting on taking tires, and that worked out.
It definitely did, man. A great run. You were one of the fastest the second half of that race, and another podium. Congratulations, Rudolph.
Thank you, Doc.
Rudolph Gunther comes home in 3rd. Adam Barker finishes 2nd. Adam, that first race kind of didn't go your way, but the second one definitely was much, much better.
Yeah, one little filling mistake going into turn 1. I tried to snap a couple of times this race as well, but I was ready for it this time. 2nd place, I didn't really want to fight with Harry. I thought maybe I could use him for a little bit, but he's just too quick. So I didn't want to fight him, jeopardize the the second. So just let him through.
Well, a big points day you're pulling away from Andrew Lau going into the final race. Mount Panorama is definitely going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it should be good. Mount Panorama is always a great track, and the finale with still points to play for, so it's going to be interesting.
Well, congratulations, Adam. A great morning.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And finally, our winner, Harry. Harry, you came back. You pulled off the win. A huge points morning for you.
Yeah, points are very important.
Yeah, I think you pulled up to 7th. We'll have to wait for the official points, but you may have taken 6th. I mean, that was definitely a great morning, but that second race, you were untouchable.
Well, there was a gap. I took it, and then, well, I had no more problems. And after the pit stop, Adam was 4.5 seconds down, I think, and it grew. So I tried to maintain the tires.
Well, you definitely did that. You had a great morning, your second win, and I was looking to see it was only your second win of the season. It seemed like it should be like your 5th, but I know there were a few close calls out there. Man, another great race. Congratulations, Harry.
Thank you, Doug.
Harry gets the win in race 2. Going into next week at Mount Panorama will definitely be interesting points-wise. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you all tonight, 7:30 Eastern for BRR Cup Race. Have a great day, everybody.